All right, guys, we're going to be starting the net here in less than a minute. So if you want to get registered, now is the time to do it. Please give me your name and the state that you are currently in. We'll get you registered for the net before we get started.
Justin from Arkansas, and I'll be listening in.
Hey, Jess, do you want me to put you down just monitoring, or would you like to participate tonight?
I'll just monitor tonight, kind of see how it goes, get the hang of it.
Copy that. Well, welcome in, and thank you for registering. If you want to speak up at any time, go ahead and grab the mic. We will not call you out since you would like to monitor, but thanks for registering. Great to have you here. I'm going to give a quick break here, and we'll get started. Okay, I just want to give a quick shout out and thanks to everybody who has registered, and for those of you that are going to register yet, I also want to give a thanks for anybody monitoring that is not going to be registering. Please feel free to do so at any time that I call for anybody that wants to register tonight. Tonight's topic is going to be about large lead acid batteries. We have two kinds we're going to be looking at, starting and deep cycle as well. I'm going to take a quick pause here. We do have a YouTube channel where Jim puts all of our nets. He does record them and puts them on YouTube. And he also does an expanded presentation as well. I strongly recommend checking this YouTube channel out, guys. Jim puts out so much more information on there on that expanded presentation. For the YouTube channel, that will be at PrepNet-Talk2Me. That is going to be the @ PrepNet with a capital P as in Paul and N as in Nancy at PrepNet-Talk2Me. Talk to me will be the way it appears on your radio with a capital T, the number 2, and the capital M. Talk to me at PrepNet-Talk2Me for the YouTube channel. I'm going to give a quick pause here. We also have an email address, and that will be prepnetchannel14@gmail.com. That is one word, prepnetch14@gmail.com. If you have any questions in the subject, please put questions so we know that that is a question. If you have any comments in the subject line, please put comments. Jim does take to heart every question and every comment made on the email, and he will bring that up in the presentations as well. Jim, I want to say thank you very much to you, sir. You put a lot of hard work into these nets. Jim does bring the topics, and he does run the YouTube channel as well as the email address, guys. So all this is done by Jim himself. I just kind of sit back and host everything. So, all right, real quick, we'll do one more shout, and we will see, is there anybody else out there that would like to register for the net tonight? Please state your name and what state you are currently in, and we'll get you registered. All right, we'll continue moving forward. Jim, if you're ready, we'll hand the mic over to you, sir.
Okay, Red Bear, thank you. And everybody else registered for the net and listening. A quickie deal. As I mentioned last week, I was going to produce a quick video on voltage, amps, watts, and wire size to better help you understand the terms I'll be using during our presentations and have used. I have completed and posted that video on our YouTube channel, so please watch this video. I also created and posted a video on what batteries I decided to get for my solar system. Look for the video titled My LFP Research on our YouTube channel. Also, for those new to our PrepNet, Please view our prior YouTube presentations to see what we have already covered. I think you'll find we have covered a lot of different topics on prepping. And again, I'll repeat, you can find our YouTube channel by going to YouTube and searching for @PrepNet-Talk2Me on the YouTube site. Now to tonight's topic, break. Okay, all about electricity, part 6, lead-acid batteries. This segment will be about lead-acid batteries for emergency power systems. We'll cover the difference between starting and deep cycle lead-acid batteries, the different types of batteries available, the charge characteristics of a lead-acid battery and a LiFePO battery, and the positive and negative of using lead-acid batteries for your emergency power. In the beginning of people using battery banks to power their electronic equipment while off-grid, lead-acid batteries were the norm. Lead-acid batteries are either, as we stated before, starting batteries or deep cycle batteries. Starting batteries are the type that are in your car. They provide large amounts of current to start your car or truck, but are not meant to be drained down too far. And draining them down too far will permanently damage them. Right? The other type of lead-acid battery is the deep cycle, or sometimes called marine battery. Years ago, the biggest use of deep cycle batteries was to run a small electric trolling motor when fishing to avoid having to use your boat motor, or to light running lights on a small boat that only had like a pull start outboard motor, which could not provide any electricity to run those lights. Now, they are called deep cycle batteries because they are designed to be more deeply drained than starting batteries. Break. Lead-acid batteries come in different types. Some require that you maintain the acid level through caps on the top of the battery, for us old-timers, and are called flooded lead-acid batteries. There are sealed lead-acid batteries, which have no removable caps. I think they're called maintenance-free. We have AGM, or absorption gas matte batteries, and there are gel cell batteries, which are all sealed. And as with any lead-acid battery, they can off-gas hydrogen, both when charging and discharging. However, for safety reasons, all lead-acid batteries should be charged outside to reduce the chance of explosion. Break. Having your lead-acid battery outside in cold weather will reduce its usable capacity. Just ask anyone who lives in a cold climate how well their car starts when it's really cold. Another downside to using lead-acid batteries for your battery bank is that they are heavy compared to lithium iron phosphate batteries. As an example, the average 12-volt, 100-amp-hour sealed lead-acid battery weighs about 63 pounds, while the average 12-volt, 100-amp-hour lithium iron phosphate battery weighs about 31 pounds. Break. Another downside to using lead-acid battery is its capacity and discharge characteristics. A deep cycle lead-acid battery can only be drained down to 50% discharge before you will permanently damage the battery. This means that if the lead-acid battery specifications say it is a 100 amp hour battery, you will only get about 50 amp hours from it, since you should not drain it below 50% discharge. The discharge profile of a lead-acid battery is significantly different from that of a LiFePO battery. Break. The discharge profile of a 12-volt lead-acid battery goes from full charge to 50% discharge and is basically a straight diagonal down line. By the way, your voltage at 50% discharge will be about 10.5 volts. So some electric items might not work properly or work at all. turn on your headlights and watch the lights get dimmer and dimmer as the voltage decreases. The discharge profile of a LiFePO battery is much different. Starting from a fully charged 12-volt LiFePO battery, the graph drops quickly by a few tenths of a volt and then stays at nearly the same voltage until about 90% state of charge, and then drops the rest of that 10% quickly, right? A 12-volt LiFePO battery discharged to 100% depth of discharge will be at 10 volts, which is only half a volt lower than the lead acid's depth of charge at 50%. You will get a more stable voltage for a much longer time and get almost all of the battery's capacity without damaging the battery. And now to the last downside of a lead acid battery. The stated number of full charge and discharge cycles of a deep cycle lead acid battery is between 200 and 500 cycles before the battery needs replacing. Break. On the other hand, a LiFePO battery will get 2,000 to 4,000 cycles, taking the depth of discharge to 100%, which is twice the capacity of the lead acid battery. Now, if you discharge to a depth of only 80%, you can get 5,000 to 6,000 cycles. And you can get 10,000 to 15,000 cycles by taking them down to only 60% of depth of discharge. We're talking about a few years of service from a lead acid battery or up to 10 or more years of service for LiFePO batteries. We'll explain more about the benefits of a lithium iron phosphate battery in our future All About Electricity topics. Right. So the bottom line is that using lead acid batteries will weigh more than twice what the same amp hour size of lithium iron phosphate does. And unlike lead acid batteries, the LiFePO batteries are safe to charge inside. You will get a longer lifespan from a LiFePO battery and a more stable voltage during the discharge cycle. Next week, we'll start discussing large lithium iron phosphate batteries. And if you have any questions about what we've talked about tonight, please ask during the roundtable or send your questions to prepnetch14@gmail.com and enter question in the subject line. And again, I want you to view the expanded presentation on our YouTube channel for additional information on our topic. We really provide more information with graphics, etc., so things will be more understandable than what we can do over the air. With that, I'll drop things back to Red Bear.
Copy that. Thanks a lot, Jim. Really appreciate the information you're throwing at us tonight. I'm taking quite a few notes. At this time, though, I'll do a quick check. Do we have anybody else who would like to register for the net? Please go ahead and give us your name and what state you are currently in. We'll get you registered.
Hey, Red Bear, it's Rodney from Maryland.
This is Vinny from Denver, Colorado.
All right, Rodney, I've got you. Vinny, I've got you also. Would anybody else like to register for the net tonight? All right, we'll keep moving forward then. I just want to rehash real quick something that Jim did say. He was talking about the YouTube channel. I do strongly encourage you guys as well, anybody new to the net, go to our YouTube channel and check out past nets, kind of get caught up a little bit. Jim does a lot of amazing work and puts a lot of information on those on the YouTube channel with that expanded presentation as well. He looks at questions that we have throughout the net, answers them a little bit better, and he also brings a little bit more information. Those expanded presentations are really, really good. He puts them together really well. He has bullet points and whatnot, and it just makes it sink in even better, I think, myself. So please go check out that YouTube channel. That is PrepNet. That is at PrepNet-Talk2Me. When you go into your YouTube search at PrepNet-Talk2Me. That is our YouTube channel. Go check that out. Look at past nets as well as past expanded presentations. And feel free to get caught up and bring any questions you may have. You can bring them to the net, or you can email us at prepnetch14@gmail.com. Again, that is prepnetch14@gmail.com. I'm going to give a short pause here. Okay, guys, this is part 6 of our series. We're looking at lead-acid batteries. I'm going to go ahead and call Matt. Matt, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Yeah, copy that. Appreciate it. Red Bear and Jim, appreciate it. For Mike, I have my tow motor, like he was saying. That's a deep cycle battery, and it's a sealed battery. And you have the different 2-cycle, lead acid batteries. You got the flood lead, acid batteries, and you got the sealed. I use the sealed, but they're good for good output, and you gotta drain them down and take it back. I also have like RC cars and this and that, and I do like NiCad, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydrate, and sometimes it's not a bad thing to run them down, run them back. It's certain ones are good to run down all the way and back. Certain ones are not. And then you have the lipos, liquid polymer. Those are kind of dangerous too. Certain different temperatures and stuff like that, like in RC cars, if you run them real low, real high, whatever, they can explode. I mean, they've gotten better over the years, but yeah, you got to be careful. But yeah, with batteries, you got to make sure you have the right thing for the right choice. Like for my troll motor, I do a deep cycle battery. For my car, I do it's a lead acid. Well, I think it's lead acid, but it's a higher start watts, and I'm more of an AC guy, not a DC guy, but I've done enough with it. So, but yeah, just gotta make sure you have the right battery for the right thing. But you got lead acid, you got NiCad, nickel cadmium, and then you got nickel hydrate, and then you got nickel polymer, and you got there's a bunch of different ways they've grown over the years for sure. Yeah, thanks by the way. Yeah, I'll chime in if need be.
Copy that. Thanks a lot, Matt. Also, with the flooded type of lead acid batteries that we're talking about, one important fact is when trying to do maintenance on those batteries and keep your water levels up inside those batteries, which is very important, you can't just go to the sink and fill a Kool-Aid pitcher and walk out and start topping your batteries off. You have to use distilled water. So 2 options here. Option 1, go to the store and buy distilled water, or have a way to distill your own water. So that would be buying a distiller and actually boiling the water off and doing that yourself. So there definitely is more upkeep with a flooded style battery versus the sealed style battery. That's something else to think about in this when it comes to battery maintenance. And also running your flooded style batteries down will actually damage them severely and could cause explosion. So that's something to think about too. Along with the sealed batteries, you have no way of knowing exactly what your fluid level is inside those batteries. So the sealed batteries do have a downfall as well there, because you really can't get into them to check your water levels in those to keep them maintained. I'm going to give a short break here. First Sergeant, Indiana. Jim, I'll just let you know his name is Jim as well. He is into camping quite heavy, and I'm sure this subject kind of hits close to home for him. But First Sarge, we'll go ahead and give you the floor, sir.
Yeah, my older camper had just regular
marine RV battery. It was lead acid. This new camper I've got, it's got the newer lithium ion. So I'm getting used to that one. It's smaller and supposed to be good for 10 years. We'll see how that goes. And then for prepping and stuff, I also have a battery generator that's solar powered, one of those anchor deals. So we'll see how all that holds up.
I kind of want to pop on that too. Some of them, like the battery inverters. That's pretty sweet. So, sorry to pop in.
No, we appreciate that, Matt. Thank you. And First Sarge, thank you very much for your information. I'm just getting into these style batteries as well. I actually have a smaller battery, lithium-ion battery for backup power for my GMRS base station that I have. So if needs be, I could power other things off of this. I bought an ammo can that's got all the internals inside to be able to run a GMRS radio. I just plug words, I apologize. I plug a mobile GMRS radio into there at 50 watts, and that battery is in there. It is also fan cooled, so that is very important. Sometimes you have to look into that, what you're powering with your batteries, how much heat you're putting out, especially in a closed environment like this ammo can that I have. Let me give a short pause here. I just want to check, do we have anybody else that would like to register for the net tonight? The floor is yours. Please let us know your name and what state you are currently in. All right, we'll move on down. I've got Rodney. Rodney, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, sir?
Well, I've had this conversation before. I'm just prepping that acid's not for me. It's the lithium phosphate batteries now. It's definitely a lot lighter and can hold a full charge. I mean, when you have them full charge, you can drain them 100% and still maintain that 13 volt instead of getting that voltage drop. That's what I've been preferring, and it's been working good. I have a motor coach with 6 days worth of batteries on it to run everything. It's been working really good. But lead acid, I got away from it. Too much maintenance, too expensive.
Yeah, that's another downfall of the lead acid style batteries is the price, along with the weight and all the extra maintenance you have to do to keep these things in line to be able to use them. So, and the cold temperatures, I agree. Again, though, next week's topic will be the large lithium ion phosphate batteries that Rodney is currently talking about, and I can't wait to get into that topic. I'm kind of excited to learn a little bit more on these batteries. I'm going to give a short break here. Vinny, did you get in here in time to catch everything? Would you like to comment on the topic tonight?
Well, I don't have very much comment because I don't know very much about it, but I am very interested in the use of batteries in general and solar and being able to store electricity and how it would then be used for lighting and things of this nature. So it may not be exactly on topic, but I'm learning about that. So any information that you can convey, for instance, what's the best type of battery to store the most information that would release that energy in a slow fashion for, say, a lighting situation for your home or your trailer or something that is not powered otherwise.
And if you check out the YouTube channel there, that is at Fretnet-Talk2Me. Jim does have some expanded presentations that goes over battery usage there, as well as how to link them in series to actually up your voltage and whatnot, and explains how to use things properly. I did actually, Jim, get a chance to check that out before the net tonight. I did watch that video you were talking about earlier. But can you expand on that just a little bit more for us?
Is that for me or Benny?
Bye, sir, Vinny.
That was for you, Jim. Did you want to talk about that a little bit more? I seen you put it up like 18 hours ago about the batteries that you're now using, the lithium iron phosphate batteries that we're going to be talking about next week. Can you explain a little bit better about that expanded presentation video you threw out there?
Okay, will do. I'll go ahead and make my comments on what I've heard so far, if that's okay. Yeah, Matt, you talked about the NiCad, nickel metal hydride, etc. I would, and this is going to be beating the dead horse. I would encourage you to go to the YouTube site because we have covered this. We are in our sixth session or topic about electricity, and we've covered a lot about generators, powering stuff at home, powering stuff in the wild, which means you're not at home. The lead acid batteries. There's a one on battery basics, etc. And a lot of things will be answered in there, and this is for actually everybody. So I would definitely encourage everybody to go look at that because I think it will bring everybody up to speed in things that we have already covered. Let me break here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to the LiFePO batteries. Lithium iron phosphate is also known as LiFePO. That's LiFe space PO, which stands for lithium iron, which is Fe, and PO is phosphate, or PO4. They are also referred to as LFP batteries. So any of those three, they're all the same. And they are probably the best battery out there for almost any type of need that you have. When we start next week, we're going to be going much further in. We're going to start with the very basics of lithium-ion large batteries, how to build your battery bank, the differences between a 12-volt system, which would be your RV, etc. And let me do a quick break. My system is actually 24 volts, and there is a reason for that. And you can actually go, many will do a 48 volt system. Now that's the 24s and 48s are mostly for your home deals. But we will be delving much deeper into that. We will delve into inverters. There are various types of inverters. You got to be kind of careful depending on what you're going to run with your stuff. We'll talk about all the protection circuits that you need to have in your system. There's battery maintenance things. The lithium ions usually have the lithium type batteries will have BMSs or battery management systems. We'll get into that, what they do, about balancing the battery, so you can get those 4,000 to 10,000 cycles out of these batteries. And we're actually going to delve into let me break real quick, since I don't have my stopwatch for 60 seconds. We'll delve into solar, the solar panels, how they're wired. They can be wired different ways. They will be connected to charge controllers. There are way many different types of charge controllers that you need to be aware of. And unless you get, which somebody talked about, I think it was Benny, about the electric generators. They don't run on gas. They have a solar panel, solar generator. That's what they're called. My mind went numb. You're going to have to do some maintenance. You're going to have to know how the battery systems work to get the most out of it. It's not a plug and play thing. And it's really beneficial to know how your system works, because if something goes wrong, you will be able to troubleshoot it. So again, I go back, watch those videos. They're really going to give you a lot of information. And we're probably going to have, and this is off the top of my head, probably 3, 4, maybe 5 more sessions on the batteries, especially the lithium ion, on how to get the system set up for your house. With that, I'll throw it back to Red Bear.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Yeah, there's when you start talking about batteries and prepping, there's so much information that we all need to learn and know. Storing the batteries properly, maintaining them, proper usage, how to connect to them properly, knowing your heat draw that's going to be coming out as well while you're trying to draw the energy out of these batteries to prevent fires and explosion, and also gas release. So that hydrogen in the air, not good at all. So thank you, Jim, for continuing on the series here with more information on batteries as we go down through our nets. I'm going to give a short break here. Do we have anybody else who would like to register for the net? The floor is yours. Okay, at this time, we're just going to do a quick round table here for a little while. And if anybody else has got any other comments or questions, the floor is yours. Go right ahead.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks, Jim. I know my deep cycles and this and that. I'm more of an AC guy, not a DC guy, but I know, different battery settings and all that, nickel cadmium and nickel monohydrate and all that stuff. So I might not say it properly, but yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Jim, do you have a story maybe that you could throw at us, an experience of yours where you've had a negative experience with lead acid batteries?
Well, I never really got super deep into the deep cycle. Not that I don't have some deep cycle batteries, but I have UPSs, and they actually have lead acid sealed deep cycle batteries. And some of the bad things with those, and this can be with any battery, is they can actually bloat and get large when things go wrong in them. So, and then of course with the larger lead acid, I've had instances of overcharging, and that's a problem you have to deal with all batteries. That's why I really encourage everybody to understand how all the batteries work, because you can't rely on, okay, my alternator is turning on like it should and turning off like it should if we're talking about the car, and then find out that your regulator isn't working right, and what it's doing is just cooking the battery. So any type of charging, you need to know what's the voltage should be, what should I look for, and things of that nature. I've had trouble with nickel cadmium batteries. They have a tendency to get a memory, and you really need to all the time bring them pretty low and charge them back up. If you bring them down 10%, charge it, bring it down 10%, charge it, it will get a memory, right?
Actually, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, too, the thing people think is like 12 volts is your regular car battery, right? They say 12 volts, 12 volts. So they put a meter on there. They should be running with the alternator going like 13.5 to like 14 volts. They should not be running at 12 volts because that's the battery level. But yeah, it should be like at 13.5, 14, 14.5 with the alternator going. Sorry for my 2 cents.
No problem. In fact, there's one of the videos, and I think it was the battery basics. Anyway, it's one of them up there that I threw up. It sort of talks about that. Yeah, we used the term 12 volts as just a general way, but yeah, your nominal voltage is 12.8, and you can go all the way up actually like to 14.6. And like a 24 volt system, my 24 volt system right now, and it has been quote, shut down, it's been idling, no charging, is at 26.5, and it can actually go up to 28. And a 48 volt system up in its high is like 53 or 54 volts. But we just use the general term 12 volts, 24, etc. And yes, people do need to understand that. And again, like you say, you're knowing, you put the voltage meter on there, and it can tell you, yeah, I'm charging, I'm not charging. You know, the lithium ion, et cetera, and all the stuff you would do for emergency use in solar, you do need to understand how that stuff works. And the one video talking about wire size sort of brings a little bit of that out to everybody's attention, that wire size for your thing is very important. I'll throw it back.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, 'cause I noticed too when like you get a 12 volt system for your car, you know, it's nominally more like 13. And when you say nominal, nominal is its own thing. So that 12 volt system, but nominally runs at 13, 13.5. You start dropping below, you know, 12, 11, 10. You have an issue with the charging system, alternator, whatever have you. So that's just why I kind of brought it in.
Absolutely, yeah, no problem. Yeah, the nominal 12.8 is after you've turned the car off and it sets. The batteries will go down to a sort of a holding or a plateau, or you know, you're not charging, you're not discharging, and you let that surface charge go away. That's what they will normally hold at. So, but yeah. And yeah, you get a starting, when you get any lead acid down to 10 volts, you've got a good chance you just killed the battery.
Yeah, kind of a weird question too, if you guys don't mind me asking, because like you get like your regular alkaline double A's, you know, triple A's or 9 volt. Have you guys ever thrown it in the freezer and get back a couple volts? Because we did that a bunch of times over the years.
Yeah, that used to be a thing. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it, and I'll tell you the reason why. One of the big downsides of, say, alkaline batteries is they are prone to leak. And it seems like they're more prone to leak now than they used to be. Of course, I'm kind of old, so I remember back in the good old days. So I don't know if something's changed in the way they do it. I've never had a nickel metal hydride battery fail, or not necessarily fail, but leak. And I've not had any lithium iron phosphate batteries leak. I'm sure there's under extraordinary circumstances that might happen. So yes, I've heard that. The problem is colder temperatures for batteries usually is not a good thing. Let me break. That's one of the advantages of a lead acid over a lithium iron phosphate. Once you get down to about 0 degrees, you cannot charge a lithium ion battery, and you cannot discharge it. If you do, you will ruin the battery. So you have to have supplemental heating. So if you put lithium ion or iron phosphate outside, you have to have, in cold weather, I'm in Montana, then you have to have additional heating. If you put a lead acid battery outside and it's charged, you're not going to damage it. You can still charge it and you can still discharge it. So knowing all these little intricate things is kind of a pain, but you got to know them.
Oh yeah, it was like me as a kid in Wisconsin, and say my little RC car ran out of a double A battery, not the bigger one, 7.2 or 9.6, but you throw a double A or a 9 volt in the freezer overnight, and you get another day of charge out of it. I'm just throwing out there. That's all.
Having any kind of information when things hit the fan or things go bad, and that's all you got. That's just something to keep in a tool in the back of your toolbox.
Yeah, 10-4. I don't want to hog up the net, but I appreciate you, Jim, and my Red Bear, and yeah, I appreciate it, guys. It was a good net.
I just want to say, Matt, no, we appreciate it. It gets conversation, and everybody else sitting back listening to you and Jim right now, we're getting the opportunity to learn. That's one of the biggest reasons why we hold this net. So thank you very much for your input on that. Just check real quick though, do we have anybody else with any other comments or questions about tonight's conversation?
I had one more thing about lead acid batteries, if I may.
Go right ahead, Rodney. The floor is yours.
When I first started my self-sustained battery systems and everything off solar, one of the learning lessons was the lead acid battery. It took a lot. For example, you have like a trickle charge, charger, all kinds of methods of charge, but something that's not thought of. And I talked to a manufacturer of Pasco here who gets these batteries, and one of the problems with storage batteries are they sit still, and they're constantly sitting still. Where a car, boat, or anything has a lot of movement, which mixes the acids up quite well. So they come out with like a 16-volt charge, equalization charge, and that's one of the problems that people don't do. They don't do that charge with those batteries sitting still, and all that is it's basically overcharging a battery, getting the juices boiling. That's your hydrogen, and it's mixing the heavy with the light acids in the battery, and that keeps the plate clean. But if you just trickle charge or slightly charge the lead acid sitting still, they recommended not doing it because you have to have that bulk charge, and you have to have that higher charge, that equalization charge, or the battery just won't go stale.
Jim, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, let me go and throw a couple of things out there. Yeah, that is a disadvantage of lead acid. You don't have that. It's called I can't even pronounce the word. You know what I'm talking about. Basically, you get gunk on the plates, and then the plates get larger and larger and larger, and then they come in contact with the plate next to them, and then the battery gets shorted and goes kaput. Most of the charge controllers that you would use for solar, and you can set it to, okay, I have a lead acid battery, will have a program or profile in them that will go through desulfication and maintenance part. And it, quote, cooks the battery. It charges it at a much higher voltage, which breaks that down, and it basically increases the acid content in the liquid. And you don't have those kinds of problems with the let's say like the LiPo batteries. Let me break. Started talking before it clicked. Another advantage of the LiPo batteries is they don't mind sitting idle. They will maintain. So if you charge up a LiPo or a lithium ion battery and just put it to the side, you can go back in 6 months. It has a very small self-discharge, and they hold their charges for a very long time, and don't have that the problem with the sulfide. And they are meant to either be drawn slowly down, amp, 2 amps, 10 amps at a time, but they do have the capability of pulling the full capacity all at once. And they use that, they call that as a C. So 1C, if you have a 280 ampere battery, you can pull 280 amp out of the battery without hurting the battery at all. So, but yeah. So again, if you watch my stuff, you're going to come to the conclusion I'm not a fan of lead acid batteries, and I'm a big fan of the lithium iron phosphate batteries.
Question.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, I've got a number of different devices that over the years have had batteries that have been charged, and they're in the little packages. I'm not sure exactly. They might be. They're not nickel metal, but they're in the small aluminum looking flat packages for things like drones and other things similar to that. What I found is that over the years, these devices, these batteries rather, kind of puff up and get puffy. Is that a dangerous situation when that takes place? Can they be recharged after that, or is it advisable to just get rid of them?
I'll go ahead and hit this one real quick, Jim, and then if you want to add on to that, definitely feel free. Anytime a battery starts to expand, that's a dangerous situation. You're looking at a possible gas off, which means it will start discharging gas, or it could explode. I would not recommend myself charging, much less using those batteries. I would recommend getting rid of them properly. Jim, what's your thoughts?
I definitely agree with that. If they bulge out, do not recharge them because they do have the potential to, especially if it's lithium ion. Okay, most likely those packs are lithium ion, and they are prone to catching fire. That's why if you go buy these batteries and they're sent to you, they have to have a hazmat sticker on them stating that they're lithium ion. I mean, there's been a couple of things where these things have actually caught fire on planes. That's another nice thing about the lithium iron phosphate is they don't have that explosion problem or fire problem, and their voltage is different. Their cell voltage is 3.2, and if you put 4 of those together, you got a 12-volt system. The lithium ion, their voltage is 3.7, and that makes it really kind of hard to create a battery system. You have to have additional special equipment. And one quick break. And one of the things they do is, like with your radio control cars, is your chargers charge the battery up to full. And that's not a good idea because what happens is when you get close to full, you create heat, and heat is the big danger of batteries. So further on in our future things, I will be talking about how you can, with the proper charge controller, you can actually not charge the battery up to 100%, and that will get you 2 to 3 to 4 times more cycles out of a battery by doing that, because you're not subjecting it to massive amounts of heat, either in going full charge or bringing it all the way down by 100%, if that makes sense. But that's stuff for the future.
Yeah, I got sorry to butt in, but I do RC cars, and I got buddies that get the LiPo batteries, and sad instances of them blowing up and starting on fire. So I stick with nickel metal hydrate and stuff like that now, or NiCads, but yeah, the LiPo batteries, they kind of scare me.
Now, I have a question for you, Jim, as well as Matt, due to this new conversation just brought up with bulging batteries and whatnot. These lithium-ion batteries, well, any old, overused battery that I need to get rid of, I would automatically think to go to my local recycling center or even a local parts store, car parts store, just to see if I can't get rid of these batteries. Maybe the local recycling center could have some ideas also where I could get rid of these dangerous batteries, get them out of my hands, away from my home, away from any areas I could possibly screw up and use these batteries or try to charge them. Once they start expanding, they're dangerous. So, Matt and Jim, do you have any ideas of where we can get rid of these batteries that are no good?
Yeah, I don't mean to cut in quick, but yeah, here at Lowe's, you go to your local Lowe's, probably Home Depot as well. They have a recycle center right at the customer desk, and you can recycle them.
Yeah, don't some places have like a deal or something? Like you bring your old battery, you get like so much off of the new battery, something like that?
I'll go ahead and jump in here. It depends on the battery. Not all batteries are alike. Your lead acid, they are usually, parts of them are recyclable. The lithium type batteries have much more dangerous chemicals in them, and I don't want to scare anybody. But so their recycling is a lot harder. So your area might not have that capability. So you just have to check around. If there's any kind of recycling center, I would call them and ask. It's the same thing where if you have an old TV, sometimes you just, in my area, that's a very hard item to get rid of for recycling, because we do not have recycling up here, and it is considered, toxic. The materials that are in there are toxic.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks a lot, Jim. Really appreciate that. Real quick question, though, for user U40, I think it was, and Mama KT. Did you two want to get registered for the net tonight?
Yeah, I believe so. What exactly was that again? Explain it to me.
Okay, getting registered for the net, I just write your name down and what state you're in. It just kind of, it's like an attendance thing. That's all it is. It just shows that you participated in the net.
No, I came in late. I came in real late. I got caught up in here, but so you don't have to count me this time. But I do plan on attending more.
Okay, copy that. We can still register you, though. What state do you live in?
It's okay, Mama. Good.
Okay, sure.
Mama, what state do you live in?
I'm like Matt. I live in Tennessee.
I feel bad for you. All right, appreciate that, Mama. Thank you very much. User, did you want to get registered as well?
Unit 40 is Vinny.
Oh, okay, copy that, Benny. Thank you very much. All right, yeah, I didn't see that earlier. So, all right, guys, do we have any more comments, questions, or concerns? We're kind of getting down towards the very bottom end of the hour here.
Well, if you got to recycle batteries, we do recycle batteries at Lowe's, pretty sure Home Depot, a lot of places. Don't throw them in your trash. Don't bring them to the dump. Some batteries are worse than others, and just recycle them and be kind to the nature.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, but I do understand, some people live way out from what we would call civilization and stuff like that. So it would be nice to, I don't know, maybe come up with some kind of like service thing or something. Maybe there is a number you can call. I don't know.
Well, you got Lowe's near you, near Gun Barrel. Go there and throw the batteries that way. But I mean, I understand about like AA, AAA's, but when it comes down to like lipos, this, that, definitely put them in a safe place and make sure it's properly recycled.
All right. I just want to give a big thanks to everybody that registered for the net tonight. We do have one person who registered that was monitoring. Want to thank you as well. And I want to thank Jim for bringing the information. This was part 6 of our series all about electricity. Tonight we looked at large lead acid batteries. Next week we will be diving into large lithium iron phosphate batteries. So definitely same time, same channel, 6 p.m. Eastern next Sunday night. Come check that out. I'm going to give a short break here. Hey guys, I also want to give a special thanks to Jim because Jim is actually the one who puts all this together for us. I just host it and let him present the information. I got the easy job here. Thanks a lot, Jim. So we do have a YouTube channel, and I'm dead horse tonight. Strongly encourage everybody to check that YouTube channel out. You can get caught up with everything we've done. That is going to be, if you go into YouTube and do a search, that will be at PrepNet with a capital P and a capital N dash Talk to Me. Talk to Me will be the same way it appears on your radio. Definitely go check out our past nets that we've had and all the expanded presentations. Jim takes the information from our nets and any questions and goes a little bit deeper in the expanded presentations. And now he's got a few other ones up there as well, looking at batteries and how to properly connect them and put them in series, things like that, as well as battery basics. So I strongly recommend to go check that YouTube channel out, guys. I'm going to give one more short break here. We also have an email address that will be prepnetchannel14@gmail.com. Again, that is prepnetch14@gmail.com. Now, if you have any questions that you think about throughout the week that you want to ask on the subject heading, please put question. If you have any comments about any of our past or current nets, put comment in the subject heading if you would. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Jim, I really want to thank you. I think you did an excellent job tonight bringing us all this information about lead acid batteries and the breakdowns and usage of them along with the dangers. I'm going to give one more break here. Did you have any last comments for the night, Jim, you wanted to throw at us?
The only thing I'm going to throw out there is for those that are listening, and not checking in, I would please check in and just say I'm monitoring, because that lets us know how many people are out there, and gives us motivation to continue to create these things. And we have a bunch more than about electricity, food preservation, security, medical, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a really big ongoing kind of project. So anyway, I'll throw it back to you and I'll quit flapping my gums.
I got to strongly suggest that as well. If you're on here monitoring and you did not check in with us, feel free to do so. You're welcome to continue monitoring. We appreciate you being here. We just like to know the numbers of people that we're reaching with our nets. So definitely next Sunday, if you're only monitoring, you're welcome to do that. We encourage it, as a matter of fact. Just kind of give us a quick shout. Let us know you're there. We'll be very, very grateful for that. At this time, though, do we have any other last thoughts, comments, or questions on tonight's net?
That's all I'll throw out there. Thanks, Red Bear, Jim. Yeah, man, Jim, you know a lot of stuff, man. So I got your back. And Red Bear, I got your back too. And great net, and had a good time.
Thanks a lot, Matt. We really appreciate that. Yeah, guys, Jim is the one that puts all this together for us. I don't do anything. Matter of fact, I got an email today from Jim from the PrepNet email letting me know what the topic was. So, and then because I was out last week, I was sick. I spent a little bit of time trying to catch up. That's an amazing thing about the YouTube channel, guys. You can definitely get caught up there and get up to speed with us and see what we have going on. Throw a little tidbit in there. I kind of like to brag about this. I got Jim to give us a little secret. We were talking about freeze drying food. Jim has built his own large capacity freeze dryer, and he discussed it with us quite heavily and got a lot of gears turning in my head. So that is in one of the YouTube presentations that was put out there, one of the recordings of our nets. So definitely go check that out. I'm going to give a short break here. Okay, at this time, do we have any objections to closing the net? The floor is yours.